guys, what's up? It's Allison, and today I'm coming at you with my April-May wrap-up because I didn't read a lot of books in either month, but combined I did read a lot of books. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about the books that I read in those couple months and about my ratings. And you guys have probably already seen a couple of these books if you watched my latest video, which is Reading Fantasies, a fantasy reading vlog. So go check that out if you haven't already, and let's get into it. So the first book that I read in April was Recursion by Blake Crouch. I have already read Dark Matter by him, and I really enjoyed it. This is a little bit different from what I usually read. I gave this one a 4.25. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This book and Dark Matter really mushed together in my brain, and I can only remember one plot line right now, and I can't remember the other. I just looked back at it, and I was definitely remembering Dark Matter. So obviously I liked Dark Matter a little bit more than this book because that's the plot line that I can remember. But this book is about Barry and Helena, and it's switching timelines between the past and the present, I believe, and it's basically kind of the scenario of a machine being able to go back in time and alter reality. It's a little confusing at first, but I feel like his books are a little tiny bit confusing, and if you really like pay attention, it's very interesting. I liked it. It makes you think a little bit, but it's definitely like kind of like a, oh, that's kind of crazy. Basically Helena is has made this machine that is now kind of being used as a weapon in the world, and that's not what she intended it for, and it's making the world go super crazy. And so she meets Barry, because it's very hard to explain this book just because it's like basically them going into the past and changing the past. So you kind of just have to read it for yourself. People are thinking that there's some disease going on, some memory issue that's going on, but in reality there's a machine that is making them have multiple lives, living multiple scenarios, and it's basically making people kind of go crazy. If you understand that, great. If you didn't, just pick this book up and you'll understand what I'm saying when you read it. But yeah, these are just two books that I've read. I gave this one a 5 stars. I gave this one a 4.25. And they're pretty neat, honestly. So go pick them up if you want something different. I enjoyed them both pretty well. And I read this also in April, and this was by A Thread by Lucy Score. I've read a lot of Lucy Score's books, but this one was for our book club, and there was a lot of mixed reviews in our book club about this. I also gave this one a 4.25. A lot of booktubers have been rating this super high, and I did like it, but the main male character in this book kind of put me off a little bit. But I liked the workplace vibes, and I thought it was just a kind of a cute little thing. And obviously her books are always super long. But yeah, I thought it was an alright read. Obviously it was over 4 stars. This is about Dominic and Allie, and Dominic basically gets Allie fired from this pizza shop that she's working at, so his mother hires her into basically her whole fashion company that she works for, and she's going to work under Dominic, but he can't fire her. So it's kind of like a little enemies to lovers there, I guess. I just didn't like the main male character in this one. That's what really brought my rating down. And I vibed with them, but not as much as I wanted to. So that is by A Thread by Lucy Score. Then we're getting to a 5-star book here, Addicted for Now by Kristen Becker Ritchie. This is the 3rd book in the Addicted to You series. and I gave this one a 5 stars. This has been the best book in the series so far, and I just bought Kiss This Guy, which I'm super, super duper excited to read. But this follows Lily and Lo again, and Lo basically coming back from rehab, how they're going to be able to live together while still kind of keeping away from their addictions. And yeah, I just love the rich people drama, the friend group, the sisters. I love this series. I'm really, really excited to get into Rose's story, which I think is next. But there's a little drama in this. Obviously, something kind of crazy happens in this book, and I'm just really, really excited to see where this series goes. This is definitely my favorite one so far out of the 3 I've read, but I heard it only gets better, so I'm going to stick with it. And they've been releasing the new covers, so I've been getting them as they've been released. Highly recommend this series. Try it out if you guys want to. I read Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and I want to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart books that are out. It's Once Upon a Broken Heart, Ballad of Never After, and then there's another one coming out really, really soon. But I want to read these 3 first. I don't think you have to, but I want to read them first. And I gave this book a 4.5. I really enjoyed it. Some people don't enjoy it as much, but I really, really did enjoy it. This follows 2 sisters, and they are Scarlett and Tella. And Scarlett has been wanting to go into this game. It's basically a game, Caraval, for so long. And the master, which his name's Legend, I believe, he finally allows them to come into the game, and they get there, and Scarlett loses Tella. And it comes to find out that Tella is basically the whole premise of the game. Whoever finds her first wins the game. And, you know, everybody's saying that, oh, it's just a game, like, don't believe everything that you see, blah, blah, blah. But Scarlett's starting to find out that the game is more real than it seems. And I really liked this book. I liked the little romance that went on with it. It gave me Alice in Wonderland vibes majorly, just like the way that the world was and how the city kind of came to life at night instead of during the day. Like, I just thought it was super, super cool. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and it was a pretty refreshing read. I highly recommend. I really, really liked this one, and I can't wait to continue with the series. Then we have another 5-star, another 5-star, and I think I finished this one in May, and that's Happy Place by Emily Henry. And if you haven't heard of this book, I really don't know how you haven't, because everybody has been raving about this. It's the ultimate summertime read, and the cover is beautiful. I gave this one a 5 stars, and I think this is my favorite Emily Henry book, my new favorite. This is about Win and Harriet, and they have broken up, but they haven't talked to their friends about it, and it's been a few months at least, and they both get wrestled into coming into their little friend getaway that they always go to in Maine, and all of their friends think that they're still together. So they kind of have to keep that from their friends. You find out why they're keeping it from their friends. And I really, really liked this. I loved the couple in this book, and this book was way more than romance. It covered so many different topics, and it covered friendships and just doing what's right for you and just all sorts of different things, and I really, really liked it. So yeah, I give this one a 5. Then we read my 3 fantasy books, which if you guys already watched this video, you definitely know how I felt about these books. But we started out with Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and I gave this book a 4.5 as well. I really enjoyed it. This was our book club book for May, and this revolves around Brath, who is one of the 7 princes of hell, and Amelia. And her sister Victoria ends up dead. She doesn't know why. she's trying to figure it out. She accidentally summons Wrath, which is like a huge deal. And she's just basically with Wrath trying to figure out what's going on, who killed Victoria, why are all of these witches going missing, because they're witches. Amelia's a witch, by the way. And there's a lot more deeper meaning and all of that. And then her and Wrath start a little romance, which I enjoyed. But the ending of this book absolutely blew my mind. And I was like, okay, so what's going on? So I definitely need to read the second one. I like this, just not as much as the next two that we're about to talk about. But yeah, it's another series that I got into this month. And then we read, and I know, Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. And if you are living under a rock, you may not have heard of what this book is about. But this is about Violet Sorrengail, and she is training to be in the writer's quadrant of the war college that basically everybody goes to. And it's a dragon rider college, so she has to survive 3 years of college and in order to graduate, and a lot of people die their first year. She has to bond with a dragon, she has to go through all of these challenges, and she also has to risk getting killed by a lot of people that are out to get her, since she is, her mother is like the main, kind of like master, not master, but she is one of like the leaders of the Dragon Riders Quadrant. She is a higher up overseer of the Dragon Riders. And Violet initially wants to be in the Scribes Quadrant like her father was, but her mom all of a sudden pushes her into this, says you're going to go into the Dragon Riders Quadrant, blah, blah, blah. And her sister, who is also a Dragon Rider, tells her not to get involved with Xaden Riorson. And Xaden is one of my favorite book boyfriends of all time, literally very close to Rhysand. So they have a little romance, and yeah, so I'm really, really, really excited to get the next book in November. One of my favorite book of the year, I have to say. And I literally ranted about this so much in my fantasy reading vlog, so I won't go too in depth into this, but you guys need to pick this up. If there's any book you pick up in this from this video, it's definitely this one. I absolutely loved it. I ate it up. So just pick it up. It's so worth it. And the last book I read was The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. And I also gave this one a 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed this book. I absolutely loved it. This revolves around Oriah and Rain. And Rain is a vampire. Oriah is basically a human living around all of these vampires. There's other humans that live there too, but mostly vampires live in this world. And she is basically the illegitimate daughter of the Nightborn King. Yep, Nightborn Vampire King. He's like the main head leader of the vampires. And she basically is in danger all the time, being around all of these vampires. So she enlists in the Kajari, which is a challenge, and the last one standing gets their wish granted from Nyxia. I don't really know. And she is the goddess of all the vampires. And so I won't tell you what her wish that she wants to be granted is, but basically everybody's killing each other. There's challenges they have to go through, and whoever's standing by the end of it is the one who gets their wish granted. And she's basically competing against a bunch of vampires. She meets Rain, and he is a vampire, obviously. They spark romance. I love Rain too. He's one of my favorite book boyfriends as well. So please, please read this one as well, because the ending of this book absolutely killed me. I need to read the little novella immediately. I love this, and I also just got gifted Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, and I'm loving her writing, so I'm so excited to try that one out too. But those are all of the books that I read in April and May, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys got some recommendations, because I read a lot of good books in these past couple of months that I think you guys should all try out. Be on the lookout for more content. I post a lot of content on my Bookstagram as well. Allison Turns the Page. If you want to check that out, I'll have that in the description below. And be on the lookout for more videos, because I have tons more ideas coming for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!